Hello, everyone. Welcome. As we have participants join the call here, we'll just wait a few moments and we'll get started a little bit after the hour here. Hello, everyone, and welcome. We still have participants joining the call, so we'll take just a few moments as people continue to join, and we'll get started shortly. All right, we've got a pretty great group here, so I'm going to go ahead and get us started. My name is Elsie. I'm with the Travel and Tourism Research Association. TTRA unites the best and brightest in the travel and tourism industry. We're preparing for our TTRA International Annual Conference this June in Burlington, Vermont. If you are curious about registration or would like to learn any more, please visit TTRA.com and select the News and Events tab. I'd like to welcome you to today's webinar, Automate Your Insights, presented by our TTRA partner, Rove. Senior Analyst Jeff Locker and Head of Client Development, Rich Adam, will show you how they're helping clients maximize the value of their data by developing systems that blend different data sources in ways that generate not just charts, but real up-to-date insights into destinations. Friendly reminder that we are using the Zoom webinar platform, so please drop your questions into the Q&A, and we will get to as many of those questions as we can at the end of the session. I would now like to hand this over to Jeff and Rich to discuss how you can become a data-driven organization.
Thanks so much, Elsie. Hi, everyone. Happy Tuesday. As Elsie mentioned, my name is Rich Adam, the Head of Client Development at Rove, and I'm pleased to be joined by my colleague, Rove Senior Analyst, Jeff Locker. A big thank you to everyone for attending. We're excited about the webinar today and the information that we have to share with you. I'd like to start by giving a special thanks to TTRA for providing us with this opportunity. Rove's been a sponsor of TTRA for several years now, and they just do such great work to move our industry forward. So a special shout out to Kathy, Elizabeth, Sarah, and of course, Elsie for all the support for Rove all year round and for organizing things today. As Elsie mentioned, we certainly invite you to ask questions throughout the discussion. And we'll look to get through as many of those as possible at the end of our discussion. With that, please allow me to introduce you to Rove. Rove, quite simply, is a technology company working with DMOs from all around the world, helping them become data-driven organizations. We support our clients through a combination of technologies and excellent client service. Leading the way is our flagship product, Destination Insights Platform, accompanied by our key data products to help clients foster sustainable economic benefit for their destinations. Rove is extremely proud of the technology we've built. It allows for the ingestion of all leading tourism data sources, whether it's mobile location, accommodations data, rating and review data, flight data, and it serves as a single source of truth that manages, processes, and transforms the data into highly visual and dynamic outputs for our clients to interact with, which is easily done thanks to the user-friendliness of our platform's design. Further, we provide transparency for our clients, giving them confidence in the accuracy of the data they use to run their organizations, allowing clients to take control of their data. So what's it like to work with Rove, and how do you work with us? Well, like our technology, we're flexible in how we work together. We focus on the needs of our clients. Simply choose the data sources you wish to work with, as few or as many as you require, from industry data subscriptions, from the leading providers, to your own primary survey research. The choice is entirely up to you. Next, select the features from our platform you wish to utilize to drive your insights program forward, whether it's Microsoft Office exports, executive summary outputs, embedding data on your website to share with various stakeholders. It's all done in a branded environment specific to your DMO's guidelines. And then finally, pick the support level that works for you. From self-service to full service and anywhere in between, we offer the support that you require. It's that simple, and it's built around each of our clients' individual needs. Now let's talk about what it means to be a data-driven organization. Coming out of COVID, DMOs were happy, thrilled even, to have data visualized in a dashboard. Now, a dashboard is simply table stakes. Our industry, the travel and tourism industry, is maturing. DMOs have increased their expectations. They require better data, more accurate data, and are asking better questions. They require a flexible and adaptable technology to support them and power their insights programs. Purpose-built for DMOs, Rove's Destination Insights platform offers unparalleled capabilities and usability, along with that flexibility and adaptability that DMOs require on their journey to become a data-driven organization. I'm now going to turn it over to Jeff, who will go into detail on how you can leverage technology to become one of these data-driven organizations. Over to you, Jeff.
Thank you, Rich. Thanks again for having us, TTRA, and thank you all for attending. And, I guess I'm going to go a bit more kind of in depth into the process of how we work with our clients. And, it really is, it's not just about ingesting data and building charts. It's the end goal is to help you become a data-driven organization, from the ground up. And, what do I mean by this? I think all the big consulting firms have some sort of diagram of what it means to be data driven. I shamelessly took this from Amazon, and they kind of break it down into 4 items. One is kind of the simplest. You're engaging in data driven decision making. So we're not just using anecdotes and opinions. We're really scrutinizing the data when we come to this when we make these decisions. 2 is we're educating everyone. So it's not just about people building information to hand it up to the C-suite so they can make the decisions upstairs. Everyone is going to have their data and be using it. Part of that is the next one, eliminating data blockers. So oftentimes when I'm engaged in like a consulting engagement, I ask, can you send me your financials? And they say, oh, James has the financials, he's in accounting, but he's out on vacation. We'll see if we can get in touch with Mike. Mike says he'll get it to us in 2 days once he processes this, that, and the other. And it takes us, 2 days to get what I think ought to be a simple data request. So, we're trying to build these systems where you can enable everybody across the organization to get to data that they need and should be available to them. And finally is enabling frontline action. So again, not just the C-suite is going to have this data, everyone's going to have the data, and they're going to be free to take it, look at it, evaluate it, and inform their actions based on what they see. And so this is all part of the platform, not just building charts and cards that are updated, but infusing data throughout the organization so that as a whole we become more data driven. And generally we're going to try to make you a data first organization. That's sort of an evolution. I'm on the board of my local DMO, and we are absolutely an opinions and anecdote driven organization, and it just drives me up the wall. I'm in the back banging my head against the desk very frequently because they're citing that they talked to someone and they were from Michigan, or I saw a lot of out-of-state car license plates in the parking lot, and this is just not good enough at this point in time. We need real data, not just what you saw and what you think. Generally, the next stage is you become where data are backing up your decision. So you kind of come to your idea or conclusion first, and then you consult that data to make sure you're correct. And we're driving towards that last stage where, as soon as you realize that a decision is coming up, we start the process of figuring out what data we need, getting that data, and building it right in to the decision making. And so that's the end goal. Again, we're not just trying to build charts and cards. We're trying to make you a data first organization. So to kind of illustrate part of this process is this is kind of what we see a lot of times when we're interacting with clients of how they have their data set up. And one thing is you have data silos. So you have your STR or your AirDNA lodging data here. You have some sort of survey satisfaction report. Maybe you have mobile data. Maybe you have a spending report, but they're all separate and they rarely, if ever, interact with each other. On the other hand, you may have these annual reports, and a lot of times these annual reports do look at all these different data sources and try to evaluate them and come to a cohesive evaluation of these data sources. But they're only done maybe once a year, once a quarter, and you're on a multi-month lag of when you actually get them. This is on the right is, I think everyone has a folder like this somewhere deep within their drive of you get a market report and you get it once a year, and it comes out with a 18-month lag from when the data first started being collected. So our end goal is to try to eliminate some of this. And so we're going to take the silos and try to merge them and see where they can be blended, where they can be put together, and try to get real insights instead of just updating cards. Part of that is combining them. Where can they be added to build upon each other and create new insights? And part of that is making sure that the data cadence is sped up. So you're not just getting these blended insights, once a year. You're getting it every time any one of these data sources is updated. You get new insights, and you're not just looking at new charts of individual data sources. You're looking at data that's been pre-processed, pre-analyzed, and delivered to you. So the insights are right in front of you instead of just where this one data source is heading. So on the platform, on the Destination Insights platform, a lot of this happens inside it in the backend. And just for one thing we're going to look at is I just want to kind of point out, this is eventually we're going to look at a nowcast. And just to point out for this client, what that involves is in the backend, you'll see these different symbols. Some are Google Sheets, some are Excel sheets. There's a JSON pipeline, there's Snowflake, there's just some mapping files that we put right on the platform. And all those come together in various steps to build this model that is updated. Anytime any one of these data inputs gets an update, it reruns that through the model, recrunches a number, and make sure the insights are up to date. So again, this isn't you give us something in Excel, we crunch it, and we put it back on the platform. This is anytime something hits the platform, it's rerunning it for you and updating within seconds. Currently, this is kind of our magnum opus. I'm not sure I'm like to exactly share where this is done for, but this is a platform we built that is looking at it's a large client, and we're looking at tourism spending in over 200 geographies within that one client. And so what this does is it aggregates data from STR, from AirDNA, from credit card transaction, and 3 different sources of government data. And it ingest all that with about a 20-day lag. So we just I have this shown up to date through December of 23. We just put up the January numbers again for all 200 of these geographies. And again, this will now output visitor spending by specific geography, by month, by origin market, by spending category every month. Provide year-to-year trends, provide by market analysis, seasonality analysis. This is half of one dashboard we're looking at of a 6-8 dashboard suite. I should say competitive set analysis is also built within here. So this here is just kind of the art of the possible, that within the platform, all this stuff can be ingested and updated very quickly to provide real-time insights. Some examples of the things we either have or are working on in terms of these integrated data projects that give you these real-time insights and help you become data-driven. The simple ones are, you just look kind of more executive summary type stuff, where you just look at growth rates across your data sets, and that's built in. Some of the more complex ones are forecast models, using all your data inputs, competitive set analysis using yours or potentially competitors' competitive set or data, and stuff like origin market scorecards to look at where your key origin markets are. And the real summary is that we're here to help, and we're going to show you some of the things we've built, but all in all, we do want to emphasize that all kinds of things are possible. The platform is very flexible, and we have a big engineering team to help implement your desires and your needs. So I'm going to just walk through 3 of the examples that are in some stage of either out there in the wild or in production. The first one, the first one will be the executive summary. So this would be kind of a simple merging of the data. So here we put up lodging data, visa, and mobile data in one place. The data is barely really touching each other, though. There's not a lot of merged data here. So we see the lodging data is actually merged. That's the STR and AirDNA combined number. So you get a look at your total lodging data, very up to date, as opposed to having to look at 2 different charts or dashboards. It's just right there already combined for you. But the visa and the mobile is all on its own, not combined. So we hope when you land, you look at your executive summary, you get a real quick look at all the latest data, but we've just barely started to combine it and process it in unique integrated ways. Getting more complex is the nowcast. So how the nowcast is built up is, we know a lot of you get your economic impacts from Tourism Economics or Dean Runyon or your own consultant that does that type of work. And now you're usually waiting, from when that report hits, you're waiting another 12 months. And so even though we've completed the year 2023, you're not going to get an actual report for another number of months. So we try to build a nowcast to show where we think you're headed in terms of visitor spending, and integrate a lot of data to give you, something very up to date. So this would take lodging data, STR, AirDNA type data. It would take visa data. It would take various government data sources, and I'll try to give a live look at where we think your destination is headed right now. And so, you can see here, we have separate inputs to forecast spending across all these different types of sectors. So they each have their unique growth rate. And then, I think also one thing we always try to do with our clients is try to be as transparent as possible. So we always try to give a summary of what's happening here and why the data is moving that way. So up on that top row, you'll see for the nowcast, you'll see things like what the Visa data is saying on the growth there. You'd see the spending, the lodging growth. So where's room demand headed, where's room revenue headed, and then we also see inflation data from the BLS. That's the CPI, the same thing you normally hear about in the news. Where's inflation going across all these various sources? And then we talk about when these are updated. So all of these data sources get updated monthly. So every month new data is ingested and you get a new fresh look at how we think your year is going right now in terms of visitor spending. We'll try to be transparent about that and what data is currently being ingested in the model. And finally, how things are weighted. So we look, each one of those categories has different ratios of where we take it from. So, again, some have more of an emphasis on the Visa, some use more room demand or inflation data. And the model is also built to be flexible. So it works with a variety of data inputs. So if you don't have Visa, the weightings change and Visa just doesn't become a part of it, and it still carries on forward. And so again, just a quick look, that's the nowcast. We're taking about what would be 4 different data sources there and blending them together to try to again produce insights on a monthly basis, and not just kind of here's how your STR data looked last month, but here's actually what we think all your data sources are saying about what's going on in your destination right now. And the final one we have, this is more not ready for showtime, but it's the credit card implied spending model. So kind of in a similar way, we noticed that a lot of our clients are getting credit card data from Visa, from MasterCard, from Moneris, from Global Pay, what have you. And it's really neat. They love the data, but they don't really know what to think about it because everyone's very aware of all the limitations of this data. So what we've tried to done here is try to make it real. And again, we're combining that credit card input with a pre-existing estimate of spending in the destination. Tourism Economics, Dean Runyon, other consultants, Deloitte, what have you, and come up with what do those spending numbers really mean? So here, as opposed to just getting a Visa report where you saw these sectors went up this much, these sectors went down that much, we try to say what that really means for visitor spending. So this isn't when I say total visitor spending there in the top left, that's not a credit card number. That's what we're projecting it means for your actual destination. And then that varies across market sources, varies across categories. This is nice because this is a 2020 chart, and you see that big COVID dip this destination took. Again, that shows up very clear in their credit card data, the top out-of-state markets, how those markets vary by month, and how those markets vary by what exactly they're spending money on. So again, we think a lot of places are spending a lot of money on this transaction data, but they struggle to derive real insights from it because they know there are issues and limitations and what do these numbers exactly mean. So we're trying to translate that from this nebulous transaction net spend amount into real dollar figures that are updating quarterly or monthly, depending on the source, and trying to provide a real insight as to what's going on right now, rather than spending on food and bev on credit cards went up this much. We think that means you're going to benefit this many millions of dollars in the long term that month. I should say a couple of these also have live, the platform also has a neat thing. I kind of just scrolled over this, but the platform does have a neat feature that it will forecast are integrated in. So in addition to doing something like a nowcast, this also will produce a seasonal regression model. So given your past month's input over the past years, it'll project forward, and it's weighted towards how you've been doing recently. So it'll give you a really quick crunch on where it thinks you're going the next couple quarters. And again, just a quick way through some of these to try to that they're built-in features to try to go from nebulous numbers on a chart to real quick insights that you can gain. So that's really what we wanted to go over today. What we hope you take away is that it's time to start demanding more out of your data, and we don't just want up-to-date charts. We want to provide up-to-date insights for you and do a lot of that crunching and take that off your plate. Do it on the platform, and so you're not having to go to someone else to run a model to do something for you. You just have the numbers that are providing real insights right there. We always suggest multiple data set approaches. You've seen that integrated in our products already. These are going to be more robust. They're going to provide you more solid answers, and you're going to be able to back them up easier because you can say, well, not only did we look at STR, but we had X, Y, and Z within that, and so we think this is a really strong answer for that question. And finally, we're here to help. This is a very flexible platform. I should say we work with a wide degree of clients. Some of our clients, we built this stuff out for them. Other clients, they get in there and just start doing the stuff themselves. That's a very data adept, literate type client. We just kind of show them the ropes, and they take it and are off and running. And we're here to help in all kinds of ways. And with that, I'll say thank you, and I guess we can see if there's any questions. Can paid media, Rich, do you want to take that one? Can paid media be incorporated?
Sure, I'm not even seeing that question. Yet we can do a few things with different media sources, yes. So probably best to get into a detailed discussion on that, and happy if I apologize that I'm not seeing the question. There it is. If you wanted to reach out directly, be more than happy to discuss that.
It's a little harder to do that one off the top because the degree of different paid media sources out there, but we certainly do work with a number.
We've got a question in the chat as well that says, do you provide mobile data, or will the DMO have to be subscribed to a mobile data provider?
So we can broker the subscription for mobile data through some of our partners. So it does not have to be a pre-existing subscription. We can do that subscription on your behalf. Looks like there might be another question in the Q&A.
The mobile devices are not updated monthly. They're updated daily or week. It's daily, isn't it? Yeah, I mean, I think we're showing monthly data through late February right now, and it's on a daily basis.
Other questions at all? Certainly, please don't be shy, but if, oh, there we go. I'll let you take that one, Jeff.
Sure, I think some of it is just, a big theme I try to put out is that, you pay a lot, or sorry, the question is basically, how do DMOs use the data? Can you evaluate campaign expenditures, adjust marketing? Yeah, and I think a lot of it is, we're trying to build platforms that can answer a lot of questions. So, if we looked at kind of our magnum opus example, yes, they, individual destinations can look at, what their markets are and think, do I need to adjust my marketing based on where the spending is coming from? So stuff like that's a possibility. Campaign expenditures can be neat because, again, you can look at particular markets from particular months. If you invested a lot in the Asian markets, you can see, are there certain months where we see them arrive? That kind of thing can be tracked. If you're hosting a big event, and you want to see where people are coming from, something like geolocation data can get after that. And we can see other spikes from out-of-state markets for this specific events. So, the goal is to build these things out so they can be used to answer all kinds of questions and purposes. And, we are, also want to emphasize the flexibility to answer questions that are specific to you. One more is, I should probably just put these on the screen. It'll be a bit easier.
Well, the question is, does the DMO need to have someone who can understand all this rich data, or do you provide a resource to help break it down and make tangible action against? And so going back to kind of our support level, you can have people on site that are able to interpret and analyze the data and kind of make it actionable internally. And we provide support for that. Alternatively, we can provide a more full service one where we actually do provide the ability to do the analysis and bring some of that reporting into the organization itself. So again, kind of a full serve to self-serve type of option. Depending upon what the needs of our clients are, we adjust accordingly. Great question so far. That may be it for the time being. Elsie, I'm not sure if you want to bring things to a close here, but I'll just finish my remarks by saying thank you again for everybody who did attend. Truly appreciate it. And please don't hesitate to reach out, info@rovemarketing.ca for any kind of inquiries, or reach out to Jeff or myself directly. Our information was at the beginning, and it'll be shared with everybody with a copy of this presentation. So thank you again, everyone. Appreciate it. And thank you, Elsie and TTRA, for your help and support.
Yes, thank you both so much. And thank you to everyone who attended today. If you have any further questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. All TTRA members will receive free access to this recording in the coming days, and non-members will be able to purchase this recording for a small fee. Thank you all again, and have a wonderful day.